So a slight change in plans. Instead of you working on the in-class part of the Stats Proud project today that's you started the other day in the computer lab, you're going to just work on this Backs and Whiskers worksheet. I understand that some of you are having some frustrations with Excel and doing those kinds of things. I'm not against extending that deadline, but I don't know that we'll be able to get any more lab time because it's been so crazy booked up. So when I come back next week, we will do the in-class part. You'll be able to ask questions if you have them still about Excel or whatever you need to ask questions about before turning that project in. Mr. Howard or someone should have given you or should be giving you this worksheet right now, this Box and Whiskers worksheet. For some reason, it didn't carry over the box plot on here, so I went ahead and drew it on there. And we're going to look at a few of these questions, and then I'm going to give you some questions that you can remove and questions that you can work on with other people. So hopefully you're looking at this worksheet. The very first question, based on that Box and Whisker plot for 6th period, what is the high score on the test? You should know that the whisker on the very end here is the high score. There must have been some extra credit or something like that, maybe a curve to allow that person to get 102%, but the high score is 102. What percent of the class scored above a 72? Keep in mind, the middle of your box plot separates your data set in half. 50% are from 38 to 88, and 50% are from 88 to 102. Your quartiles further divide your data set. So now if you look at this, my data set is in 4 pieces. 25% is here, 25 here, 25 here, and 25 here. So what percent of the class scored above a 72? That would be 75% of the class. The median score, that's just the middle of our box plot, in this case is 88. And what percent scored between an 88 and a 96? That's from the median to Q3, and that would be 25%. Do you think the test was too hard? Well, that's something that you'll have to answer there. It shouldn't be too difficult for you to answer that question. The next question is one that I wanted to look at with you. And now it won't let me, hold on. All right, now I figured it out. Do you expect the mean to be above or below the median? Keep in mind that the mean is our average, and we know that the median is the middle of our data set. So if I divide this data set in half, that's my median. 50% of my data are here, and 50% of my data points are here. Whichever side has the highest spread is the way that your mean is going to be pulled. This 38 is an extreme value. It will have much more of an effect on the average than it does the median, because the median just looks at the number of data points that are above or below. So if we are looking at trying to figure out if the mean is above or below the median, we need to look at the spread of our data. There is a much larger range down in the lower half than there is in the higher half. So in this case, the mean is going to be below the median, and you can explain that in your own words. All right, when you get to this point, you can omit number 26 completely. Oh, my stylus just broke. You can omit number 26 completely, get rid of that guy. And then when you go to number 27, there are 4 different decades that you are supposed to look at the total number of points in each of the Rose Bowls. If you want to, you can collaborate with 3 people and yourself, or even 2 people and yourself. And if I were you, I'd split it up and say, okay, you're going to do the 2000s, find the min, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the max, and have someone do that for each of the 4 decades. And then you could have each of those people create their box plot on the same sheet of graph paper. It just says down here, make sure that they're to the same scale. So I guess if you want them to just be the same scale, you can do that. But I'd recommend you putting them on the same sheet of graph paper. Just make sure you have all of your names on that sheet. Okay, so hopefully by the end of today, you have the majority of that box and whisker worksheet done. If not, you need to finish that box and whisker worksheet for Monday. I will try and see when I get back if there are any lab days available next week. Originally, the due date for the stats project was going to be Tuesday, but I can push that back. If you have any questions about the technology type stuff and you're working on it over the weekend, feel free to send me an email or send a message on Edmodo, and I will see if I can get back to you on that kind of stuff. If you do not have internet access at home, you're going to want to make sure that you save your Excel files or your data from the computer lab onto a flash drive or something like that so that you can take that home with you. Today in class, should Mr. Howard choose or should your sub choose, you can allow people to work on the computers on that part of it. Just rotate people out every 15 minutes or so, and then we can continue to do that next week. I will see you guys on Monday. Sorry you had to hear my creepy voice again when I'm not there. Weird, right?